Now at 5, Joplin hosts a poverty simulation to help community leaders understand different struggles. Plus, the Pittsburgh Police Department gives some tips on safe trick-or-treating, and
Senate candidates in key battleground states are under the microscope with just days ahead of the midterm election. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill, diving into some of the toss-up races.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some Joplin community leaders get a lesson on what it means to live in poverty. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Over the course of a few hours today, 80 community members from 50 organizations experienced a simulated month of living in poverty. Scenarios are based on the experiences of community individuals and families. The simulation is designed to give participants insight into the challenges low-income families face daily, as well as help to identify areas of change that could impact poverty in the Joplin region. Participants say the event changed their perspective.
So something as simple as getting from point A to point B, getting to work, childcare, just getting to and from the store. I also learned how difficult it can sometimes be to learn all the rules and policies of even the agencies providing those services.
It gives everybody a good illustration of some of the things that people have to navigate and when they are in unfortunate situations.
Today's simulation was organized by One Joplin, a community collaborative focused on facilitating communication among area organizations. Halloween is almost here, which means kids are going to be heading out the doors to collect candy, but there are some safety tips to keep in mind. Pittsburgh Police Chief Ben Henderson says it's important to have reflectors on if you're wearing dark clothing outside. He says they have not found any suspicious goods, but he reminds parents to check their children's candy to make sure it's safe to eat. He also recommends only going to houses that are lit up and to walk in familiar groups.
Don't be so large that it's an obstruction if you have to cross the cross the road as 30 or 40 people. Try to keep the groups down to maybe like 5 or 10, and go with family or friends, people you're very familiar with, so you know to watch out for each other's kids.
The city of Pittsburgh will host its Trunk or Treat event on Halloween outside City Hall from 3 to 5 p.m. Let's check in with Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it's definitely turned out to be another nice day across the region. Temperatures pretty good. Most of us mid to upper 60s. And a decent amount of sunshine for us today. A lot of mid and upper level clouds. 63 in Stockton, Grand Lake 67, Parsons sitting at 65 degrees. But look at the clouds increasing, especially on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. In fact, we have some showers, even a few thunderstorms out across central Kansas, down through parts of Oklahoma. And that's the beginnings of our next storm system, which is heading toward us. Some of those showers will make it in to our western counties as we go through the evening. We'll drop back through the 50s, down to about 44 later on tonight, but late this evening in our western counties, some of those showers will start to pop up. We do have weekend rain chances as well. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. A second excavation is underway in Tulsa in connection with the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre investigation. This new excavation includes a new area of Oak Lawn Cemetery in the hopes of finding potential victims. The first excavation took place during the summer of 2021, and analysts were able to locate 19 human remains. The city says 14 of those fit the criteria for further DNA analysis. From the samples taken at Oak Lawn, 2 DNA samples had sufficient amounts of DNA to move forward. The race to control Congress is coming down to just a few battles. Herschel Walker, who is one of those closely contested races, received a late October surprise when a woman came forward claiming he took her to an abortion clinic and paid to have the procedure performed. Reporter Skyler Henry has more from Capitol Hill.
Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker campaigned in Cumming, Georgia Thursday morning, but did not address the most recent allegations that he paid for a former lover to have an abortion.
They come after me today, they're going to come after you tomorrow, but I can tell you right now, they can't take me down because I'm a bad man, and I can tell you that right now.
The woman, who has not been identified, said she had a 6-year affair with the former football star when he was married. She said that in April of 1993, she found out she was pregnant and told Walker she couldn't go through with the abortion.
He was upset. and said that he was going to go back with me to the clinic the next day for me to have the abortion.
Walker denied the allegations when they came out Wednesday, and his supporters say they're not concerned.
The past is the past. I'm more concentrating on the future and what he can do for us in terms of this economic crisis.
Walker is in a tight race with incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock. The Georgia race is one of the few toss-up elections that will determine which party controls the U.S. Senate.
Pennsylvania Senate candidate John Fetterman told supporters in Pittsburgh that this week's debate, so soon after his stroke in May, was one of the toughest things he's ever done.
Knew it wasn't going to be easy after, having a stroke after 5 months. In fact, I don't think that's ever been done before in American political history before.
His Republican challenger, Dr. Mehmet Oz, has cut down Fetterman's lead by focusing on crime.
In Philadelphia, almost every day I wake up and open the paper and wonder how many people did we lose? Not did we lose anybody, but how many did we lose?
A CBS News poll out Tuesday shows Oz and Fetterman virtually tied. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Former President Barack Obama is campaigning with Warnock and Democratic gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams in Atlanta this evening. The United States played a key role in what's being called a historic deal between Israel and Lebanon. The two countries signed an agreement determining their maritime border. This is the first time Lebanon has de facto recognized Israel. Israel's prime minister praised the agreement, saying it's not every day that an enemy country recognizes Israel. At stake in this deal is billions of dollars worth of oil and gas in the Mediterranean Sea. Coming up, raising awareness of breast cancer.
Katie Couric shares her own battle with breast cancer. I'm Naomi Ruckham with how she hopes her journey will help others.
And later, some tips on navigating the changes of the healthcare marketplace. Topping today's Health Watch, a drug commonly used to treat bacterial infections in children is in short supply. 3 of the top 4 makers of the antibiotic amoxicillin are reporting supply constraints in the U.S. Amoxicillin is prescribed for many illnesses, including ear and throat infections, and it comes in several forms. Children generally take the liquid form of the drug, which is reportedly where most of the shortages are occurring. The FDA says it's working with pharmaceutical companies to fix that problem. Rates of a certain type of stroke called subarachnoid hemorrhage are on the rise. A study in the journal Neurology found an increase in incidence in older people and specifically in men in recent years. Researchers also found a disproportionately higher rate among Black people. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, of course, and one person who's helping spread the word is Katie Couric. The award-winning journalist was recently diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer, an experience she documented and shared with the public. Naomi Ruckham has that story.
Like many women during the pandemic, journalist Katie Couric fell behind on her mammograms. When she went for her screening, she documented the process on camera, including the moment her doctor found something of concern.
In addition to getting a mammogram, I also get a breast ultrasound.
On ultrasound, what I saw was a mass, and that mass had irregular margins.
Couric announced last month she'd been diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer and has undergone surgery and radiation. Appearing on CBS Mornings, she opened up about the experience.
Yeah, I've always been extremely vigilant about my health, especially after my husband died and I became a single mom and my daughters were 6 and 2. But for some reason, I think the pandemic sort of got us off schedule and messed with our sense of time.
Couric is among 40 to 50% of women who have dense breast tissue, which means mammograms may not pick up signs of cancer. Those women should talk to their doctors about additional screening.
Unfortunately, even 3D mammograms, which are far superior to standard mammograms, aren't really always that great at detecting tumors. If you have dense breasts, my radiologist said it's like finding a snowball against a backdrop of a field of snow.
The Food and Drug Administration is planning new regulations for informing women about their tissue type and screening options, a move Couric hopes will lead to early detection and saving lives. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
A reminder, experts say women should start regular mammography screening at age 50 and have the option to start at age 40. 2 new studies show the cardiovascular effects of smoking and vaping are likely caused by airway irritation. New research on behalf of the American Heart Association finds that each habit appears to cause some potentially damaging effects that the other does not, suggesting that using both products might be worse than using just one. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, a look at the latest GDP report from the Bureau of Economic Analysis.
Plus, we have some rain chances increasing over the next few days. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be another pretty good day for us today. Temperatures not bad, most of us mid, even some upper 60s across the region. A lot of mid and upper level clouds, but overall pretty good. Nice shot of indigo sky, casino and resort. You can see those mid and upper level clouds passing through. All right, so new drought tracker is out. Of course, we picked up in most areas 2 to 4 inches earlier this week. This did put a slight dent into the drought. We were in exceptional drought all the way through southwestern Missouri. It's still bad. It backs it down to severe drought, still an exceptional drought, Kansas and Oklahoma. But the Missouri side improved just a little bit. But we need a lot more of those events to really put a huge dent into the drought. Temperatures right now, 64 at Jay, Nevada 64, 61 in Neosho, Parsons sitting at 66 degrees. A lot of mid, a lot of upper level clouds, 67. That wind is obviously not correct because we don't have an east-southeasterly wind at 130 miles per hour. That would be up there just a little bit. Humidity at 30%, but you can see the winds. We do have a southeasterly wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So there's the air. Okay, so that's what popped up. I'm gonna have to check into that. That's a little odd. All right, through the evening, we drop back through the 60s, 50s, down to 44. A lot of clouds across the region, which you can see increasing over the past couple hours due to this wave out across Nebraska, central Kansas, rain all the way down through parts of Oklahoma. As this works in, it will start to weaken as it works into southwestern Missouri. So we're not going to see much rain out of this. Our western counties may pick up a little bit, but you can see the storm system. Northern parts of New Mexico, it's going to track down into Texas as we head into the weekend. So it will at least give us some rain chances. First off, tonight, see a few showers popping up. Yates Center, Fredonia, Independence. Here's 11:30 p.m. As we get into the morning hours, they're pretty much gone. They just kind of fall apart. So most of us are going to stay dry. Here's 7 a.m., mid-40s. As we get into the noon hour, most of us near 60. We are still going to have a lot of clouds, and then by the afternoon, mid-60s for highs. Very similar to what we have seen today. 7 a.m., 44, 60 by noon, 64 by 5, high temp of 65 degrees. Let's move into Friday evening. We got 4-state Friday night football. We're going to have some cloud interference. Nice football temperatures dropping back through the 50s, and we should be dry, which is great news. As we go into tomorrow night and into Saturday morning, a few random showers you can see in our southern counties. Most of us dry, but it creeps up a little farther north by Saturday afternoon, so we are going to have some rain chances, especially along and south of I-44. You can see tonight just a few isolated showers, and then as we head into Saturday, those isolated showers pop up once again. 65 tomorrow, 61 Saturday, near 60 on Sunday, Halloween, 68 tonight at 6. We'll look more in depth on the weekend rain, Halloween, and we'll go long range all through next week.
Liking the looks of Halloween, and I'm really glad the graphic was wrong. 100 mile an hour plus winds, those are uncomfortable.
A little breezy.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. A study shows swarming honeybees can produce as much electricity as a thunderstorm. UK researchers made the discovery by chance. The lead author says they were studying how different organisms use the static electric fields that are everywhere in our environment. They noticed whenever bees swarmed, there was a profound effect on atmospheric electric fields, even though the weather hadn't changed. They found, depending on the swarming density, The atmospheric charge could be similar to that of a storm cloud, thunderstorm, or electrified dust storm. How about that? Coming up, navigating the changing healthcare marketplace. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Robert Rosendahl served in the U.S. Army in 2005. The Hume, Missouri native was stationed in Iraq. And we salute Staff Sergeant Robert Rosendahl, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the U.S. economy makes a rebound, but it might be short-lived. The Bureau of Economic Analysis reported gross domestic product increased by a yearly rate of 2.6% in the third quarter. That's according to initial estimates. The economy suffered declines in both the first and second quarter of this year. Analysts say the boost in growth was primarily bolstered by a drop in imports and consumers spending more on travel and dining. South Korean automaker Kia has issued a recall for more than 70,000 older SUVs. They say their 2008 and 2009 Kia Sportages have an engine wiring defect that can spark a fire even when not running. Owners can call Kia customer service to find out where to get the issue repaired at no charge. But until then, they're advised to park their SUV outside and away from other structures. Open enrollment is here, and millions of Americans are making decisions about their health care coverage. Reporter Jill Schlesinger has some tips on how to navigate the changes.
For the more than 150 million Americans who get health care through the workplace, annual premiums for family health coverage have risen 47% over the last 10 years. To help defray some of that increase, shop around. Start by reviewing your current plan, what you spent this past year, and then try to project what your healthcare costs will be in the year ahead. Compare plans and determine what they cover, how much they cost, including co-pays and deductibles, and whether your doctors are in the network. To reduce the annual sticker shock, consider a high-deductible health plan, which offers lower premiums, and pair it with a tax advantage health savings account. Many employers are now offering these plans as a tax advantage way to save for future healthcare expenses. If you're over 65, Medicare open enrollment has started, and it concludes December 7th. During this period, you can join, switch, or drop a plan. Because insurance companies often change what they cover from year to year, it behooves enrollees to review and update coverage. Finally, the open enrollment period for the Affordable Care Act will begin next week. Costs vary depending on the plan you choose and your state of residence. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
McDonald's is launching yet another farewell tour for the McRib. The fast food giant's bringing back its seasonal barbecue pork sandwich starting on Halloween Monday for a limited time. It's always a limited time. There have been other farewell tours for the McRib in years past. In a press release, McDonald's said they hope this isn't a goodbye, but a see you later. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, an interview with the inventor of the Rubik's Cube as the toy celebrates nearly 50 years. Then on KOAM News at 6, Coffeyville, Kansas fire officials give an update on 2 fires from over the weekend. Plus, we're going to have more on the impact of a poverty simulation for some Joplin community leaders. And the Pitch Day Gorillas look to stay undefeated this weekend as they take on Central Oklahoma. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. The temperature is a bit cool, but pretty nice out there, Doug.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a nice evening as we drop back through the 50s, eventually into the 40s. A few isolated showers late this evening on the Kansas side. Most of you will stay dry. A lot of clouds again tomorrow, 65, and then a few showers over the weekend, mainly south of I-44. Temperatures a little bit cooler, but Halloween looking pretty good. We're going to look at Halloween and the forecast for next week tonight at 6.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we will be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.